Tell me your name.
Hello, my name's Kausar. I'm a 2+ sibling carer. I've got two brothers with learning disabilities, challenging behaviour and epilepsy, and elements of autism.
Thank you, Kausar, and welcome. Kausar, do you live with pain? And what sort of pain do you have?
Yes, I live with pain. I have back pain. It started off as sciatica pain, which now is just constantly back pain.
Kausar, you said you're a carer for your brothers. How long have you been a carer for your brothers?
I'm a 2+ sibling carer. I've been caring for my brothers for 28 years. But really, my caring journey started when I was 8, when my first brother was born.
Wow. And that's amazing. That's amazing, Kausar. And it sounds like your brothers have quite high needs, but you know those needs really well. How do you feel though, in yourself? You know, you have pain, and how do you balance caring for your brothers and caring for yourself? Where do you fit in that?
Now, that's a very good question. I don't know. I don't know where I fit. All I know is my priority is my two brothers, because they have no language. They can't speak to me other than me being able to pick up from their body language what their needs are. So their needs always come first.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know when I put myself first.
Tell me how you sleep.
How I sleep, I'm forever turning. I try and sleep on my side. I have a roll towel that I put in bed when pain is too much. Sometimes I take a hot water bottle upstairs. So it's just trying to find a position that's going to be comfortable for me. And 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 sometimes you're that tired, because on an evening you have to give yourself time to unwind. And if I don't unwind before I go to bed, I can't sleep at all. So then the pain is more intense. So yeah, I've got and unwinding can take an hour, can take up to two. So if you sorted everything out on the evening and you're looking at going to bed for about 11:30, nearly 12 o'clock, and then you're back up again the following day for 7 o'clock. So
Wow.
it's not easy. But yeah, trying to find the right position to sleep in bed, tossing and turning until you find some kind of ease. But then sometimes you're that tired, and because you've gone to bed late, you knock out. So and if you need to turn while you're asleep, and then the pain's there, you wake up with a jolt, and oh gosh, I forgot about that, and then you start all over again, trying to readjust yourself in the bed. So
So sleep is really difficult, isn't it?
it is, yeah.
And then, how can sleep affect you the next day? If you have a good night's sleep versus a bad night's sleep, how does that affect you with your pain and your caring responsibilities?
If I've not had a good night's sleep and the pain's being bad, then it does affect from when I can't get out of bed. It takes me ages. I have to sit on the side of my bed for a good 5-10 minutes trying to do stretches and stuff.
Mm.
And then I always pace myself by the time I get to the top of the stairs, to think, gosh, how am I going to get down these stairs? So yeah, a lot of pacing, and holding onto the banisters, or even turning around and coming down backwards. I don't know. That seems to help me to cope better. Um, but yeah, it's hard, really hard. Sometimes I crawl down the steps, and because I know I have no choice, but I have to be there for my brothers to get them ready. So, and then it's when I do eventually get down here, it's seeing to try and because they are in a routine, trying to keep to that routine for them and for myself. So when I eventually do come down, it's looking at them to see if they've got dressed properly, because my husband sees to their ablutions and stuff on a morning, and my role is to make sure that they're dressed appropriate for the day and get their breakfast.
How does your pain affect your ability to be patient with your brothers?
Yes, when you eventually do come down, and I've started to see to my brothers, it can be quite difficult because you're in pain and you do lose patience, but then you've got to bite your tongue because it's not their fault. It's what you're suffering. So when it's a situation like that and they're not listening to me, what I do is I sit and stay quiet because then it gives them time to process. Or there's something not quite right here, and then their thought processes ease a little bit, but sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes they will shout and carry on and bang doors and throw plates on the table and what have you. But you've just got to give them that space, and you've got to give yourself that space too, because otherwise it can become such a difficult situation, and I need to nip it in the bud, because both of them could end up fighting with each other, and me being on my own, how will I deal with that? So I have to be mindful of those things too. So what I do is, yes, I'm in pain. Yes, it's too much for me, and I can be short tempered, but I have to sort of think, no, I've got to stop this. I've got to stay quiet, and then hopefully they'll pick up my silence and ease their situation. I don't know about ease, but it helps them. It helps them to think, and that's how I do it. With my back pain, I sometimes it gets so much. I do have a good cry, um, on my own, because I feel that the emotions just sort of build up and you need to release them. That helps, and also my faith helps. So saying prayers before I come up out of bed, sitting on the side of the bed, even to the fact try to keep up with my 5 daily prayers. Some days it's difficult to go into suju, that's prostrating on the mat, so I may sit on a chair. So I do try and keep up to praying as much as I can, but some days it can be really, really difficult. But I still do not give up, because some days I find those positions ease and help. So
What your hopes are for Alleviate?
I hope that Alleviate will help me, my brothers, um, understand sometimes it's difficult to share how our pain is, or find the words to it, describe how and what we're feeling. Sometimes for me, it's if my brothers are in pain, I go by their body language. But when you go to the professionals, they say, well, out of 10, what do you think the pain is? Well, they can't tell me. I can't, how can I explain? So I hope Alleviate can help me to understand a little bit more, and other people through the data sets, to make it easier for me to be able to go back out and share with the professionals when it comes to my brother's pain, because they can't tell me. I've got to learn a way of expressing their pain to them in a way that they'll understand. And for me to be able to understand, to be able to take better care of them.
So, Kausar, tell me about how your brothers can tell you whether they're in pain or not.
They can't. They do not know how to express their pain. It's up to me to look out through their body language, but it's difficult. Sometimes you just don't know. I don't know. I just do not know.
Kausar, tell me a story about when you've noticed your brother's in pain.
The story I can share is when my brother broke his collarbone. He'd come home from day services, and I sat him down to have his meal, and he was struggling to pick a glass of water, and alarm bells started ringing. That's not the way I see my brother. He's normally he's quite able to help himself and have his meal. And when he was struggling with his glass, I thought, no, this is not right. And then I had to sit down and offer it again to him and says, pick this up and let me see. He did it again and again. He was struggling. And that's it. I thought, right, this is not right. I started to look at his arms, his shoulder, his collarbone. And then I noticed a lump on the collarbone. And I dropped everything and took him to St. George's and got him an X-ray.
And what did the X-ray show when you had him X-rayed? What did it show?
The X-ray showed that he had broken his collarbone, and prior to that, there had been a hairline fracture, which I hadn't picked up and no one picked up. And he didn't even come across as if there was pain there. But how do I pick up? And I do know that broken collarbones can be very, very painful.
Tell me what you hope Alleviate will do for you and your pain.
I hope Alleviate, with all the data that they're collecting, will be able to make it a little bit more clearer to understand how I can better manage myself with me being a carer. And also for me to be able to understand where the pain is coming from. Maybe I could self-help myself, because I don't like medication.
That's understood. That's very understandable. I think that's what we all want. How do you hope Alleviate will help you as a carer with your brothers and help your brothers with pain?
Again, Alleviate, I'm hoping, will be able to help me understand a little bit more about the intensity of pain, like his collarbone breaking. I have no idea how much pain there is with that, because I've not had it myself. I always go by the pain that I've had, that I can associate it with my brothers. So that's what I'm hoping.
So, Kausar, how does living with pain affect you with your husband?
The way it affects me is I hold all my emotions inside, and then every so often I have an outburst, and he gets the brunt of it all. And bless him, he's very patient. He understands the situation I'm going through with the caring role and my own pain. So he's very patient. But I do feel bad sometimes. But I feel better when I've had that outburst, and he takes it all. Bless him.
And have you been together a long time?
Yes, I think 35 years we've been. It was an arranged marriage. So yeah, 35 years.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And do you have children, Kausar?
I do. I have three, and all three of them were born via C-section. So I don't know if that may have been the reason why I end up with such a bad back.
How are they around your pain? Do they understand? Do you feel people understand about your pain?
No, I don't think so. I find that family and friends, you can see from their facial expressions when you say to them, "Oh, today's not a good day. My pain's a little bit too much." So yeah, I think they're fed up of me saying it all the time, and I try not to, because you don't want to be sharing your difficulties, because it's not a good conversation starter, is it? So you try and just say, "Yeah, I'm okay." So you just brush it off as you're okay when you're not really.
How isolated and alone do you feel with your pain?
A lot, but I keep myself busy all my life. I've just pushed myself to keep busy and not stand still. So that's why with the caring role, I'm forever. Yes, I care for the two young men, but I also try and do as much as I can to bring information back home. So going to groups and various other things. So I do quite a lot of volunteering work too. So it keeps me busy and my mind off, the difficulties I'm going through myself. So that's how I take care of myself in a way. How I met Anthony was many, many years ago. We met at an event at university. It was health related, and we got on really well. And he sort of invited me to come and be part of research, which I've never looked back and thoroughly enjoyed, because I want to make changes.
Thanks, Kausar.